Welcome to this episode, and today I'm going to be working on this. You might be asking what I mean when I say this. I mean, I'm going to actually do some building today. So here's my starter base. You can actually see that a creeper has exploded a hole in here, and I haven't built up my storage space, and I have no other buildings. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today, is actually building something. And in order to work on the building, I'm going to be doing this first, and that is some mapping. Now, the reason I've been doing so much mapping is because I've been looking for a badland biome. And the reason I want a badland biome is for terracotta. You can get terracotta through villagers, but they give you colored terracotta. And what I just want is terracotta so I can dye it whatever color I want. And I don't want to use concrete because concrete's too bright. I want more of a dull kind of earth color to it. So that's why I want terracotta. And I've been mapping a lot trying to find it, but I haven't found it yet. So the trick with mapping in general, if you want to find a specific biome, is to look for the cluster of those biomes. So badlands are in the dry cluster, so the other biomes in that cluster are also desert and savanna. And you can see I've got lots of desert in here, and I've been searching, and all I've got is desert and savanna so far. So what I want to look for is somewhere that is close, or the map is next to desert area. So this would be a good spot to look, and maybe I can find a badland biome there, and then I can look here because there's some desert there. So that's the trick if you want to find a biome, is figure out what cluster it's in, and then find looking at those biomes that you've seen, try to look around that area. Another thing I want to check on is how many villagers are in here. So you can see there is 1, 2, 3, and 4 villagers. So before I was done with this farm, I just fed these guys a ton of bread just to get them going, and it looks like it's paying off because I got 4. So once I actually want to do a farm, I can actually, get them in there. And you can see, unfortunately, because of the way I set this up, the villagers went through the glass into the random spot I have here. So I'll have to fix that later because that's a little weird. So here I am. I have been exploring, just mapping out some stuff, and I finally found a badland biome. I've been searching out for this for quite a while. That's why I've been mapping so much, is because I wanted to find this specific biome because I wanted terracotta. So now I can get some terracotta and dye it whatever color I want and use it in my builds. So as you can see here, I did a lot of damage to this biome, and I'm probably going to end up doing more even after this. And I was able to fill 4.5 chests of terracotta, red sand, yellow terracotta, white terracotta, and some orange terracotta too. So a good mix of different colors, and of course with terracotta, you can just dye it to whatever color you need, although at this point I don't have the dyes yet. But at least I got the terracotta, and I thought it was time to stop because I was running out of durability on both of my pickaxes, so I might as well restore the durability on my pickaxes and transport all of this back to my base. And unfortunately I don't have shulker boxes or an ender chest yet, so I gotta do this by myself by putting it in my inventory and moving it all the way over there. So this is gonna take a bit of... Okay, so now that I've got the terracotta, let's add the maps. So there's that one, and I haven't finished that one, but I have extra maps. And you can see the badland is right up there, badlands. But the badlands up there, and I have to finish the rest. Another thing about maps is that if you have a copy of the map that is in the frame here, you can actually map out the area with the other map and it'll update this one. So as long as it's a clone of that map. I've loaded up some cactus in here, so let's see. We have our pickaxe in our hand, and let's see how much durability I can restore. And yeah, it's definitely working. I don't think I'll be able to get the whole thing, but I have enough cactus I can do it. Guess I'm gonna have to start to do something with all of this green dye that I got soon too. So before I build my storage system, I thought it'd be a good idea to pop into my creative world to explain what I'm going to be doing. So this is the creative world I use to just build things, see how they look, how different blocks work with other blocks, just practice building in general, and work on some block palettes. So you can see my original starter base that I built, and eventually I built it a bit differently than what this looks like. And this was just something I tried to see how it would look. I don't think it's really works. It's too much of the same color. And you can see me just placing things. There's a block palette I think I was working on, and also some glazed terracotta. I was trying to look at different patterns on here. So it's always good to have a creative world where you can just build things and practice building and just see what block palettes work. It's also a good way of avoiding using a lot of resources in your survival world and then realizing it doesn't work on the build you're doing. So I'm just going to explain what I'm going to be doing for my storage system. So what I plan on doing is I'm going to have a platform that is going to be this, and then it'll be a wall on the edges, and there'll be stairs that lead up to these. And what I'm going to be doing is basically this is going to be the first floor. So this will be 5x5. This is also 5x5. So I can just rotate from this to this and then back, and then the corners will be on diagonals and they'll be made of white terracotta. So today I'm just going to be building the outside of the first floor. I'm not going to be doing the interiors yet, and I'm also not going to be doing the second floor. Basically for the second floor, what I'm planning on doing is another version of this, maybe a bit different, maybe a lot bigger. And then I'm going to be doing domes on top of it. The basic idea is I'm basically going to I'm not going to copy Indian buildings, but I'm going to use them as an inspiration to build something that I think will work. And this is part of what I'm doing. So I think these colors work pretty well together. You always want to make sure that the block palettes kind of work well. So I think orange works well with red and yellow, and also I have white terracotta. The spruce works well, and I mean, I have the glazed terracotta here, the yellow. I might change that if I change my mind. And also the red terracotta here, and I think the quartz brick works. So I'll be adding a lot of detail too. I need some lighting because I have a lot of mobs that spawn in that storage system. And I also need to set up a framework here. So it's always good to just lay out what you're going to be building and plan it out ahead of time. I'm going to have to plan out the depth of this because I think it's about 7 deep. So I don't want to, because there's obviously a lot of redstone in my storage system. So I don't want to interfere with that. I still want to be able to see it so that if anything goes wrong, I can fix it pretty easily. But this is the plan for today, is just to build this on the first floor, and let's see how it looks once I build it. So I thought I'd show you guys what I've been trying to do as building this. So I was trying to get this symmetrical and make sure that the blocks were in the right place. And in order to do that, I had to keep building the frame and adjusting the size of the building. And I eventually got it right on this layer, but you can see how many attempts I made. And you can see where I'm going to be building this. So now that I've done that, I can actually start building the first floor. And there you go. That is my finished well, not finished, but it's my storage system at this point. So I did the first level, I did the walking pathway around here, and I did a foundation kind of thing. So there is no interior, there is no ceiling on this or second level that I'm eventually going to build, or the domes that I eventually want to do, but it looks pretty good at this point. I think it turned out not bad. I think I could do some more detailing on it and working on a couple things, but it looks pretty good. And here's the front with the stairway that goes up. So you can see here's the path. Originally I was going to use quartz, but sandstone was a lot cheaper and easier for me to do, and I still need quartz for some stuff like observers. And here's the interior. It looks kind of weird right now because of all the terracotta and the way the cobblestone is on the bottom of things. I also got to be careful because I got to start lighting all this up because it's a giant mob spawning area. I think I did the math a bit wrong because there is a lot of space. So if I want to build something cool with the interiors, I have lots of space to work with. So it looks pretty weird, at least on the outside, but it doesn't look bad on the outside. So I think that's enough for today. So thank you guys for watching, and if you guys got any ideas or tips, I would love to hear it.